Good dog. So I just wanted to show you guys what we're talking about. This is the ad for the tournament. Let me move this up a little bit here more. The tournament is going to be happening in February. The first qualifiers will happen on the second week of February, and then at the end of the month we will be having the final. Um, but it seems to me like this game is about to get ready to go, so let's move over there. So on one side we have Pineapple Punch, Gunnar, which is playing under JT, Alexa Bot 10, and Patch Patch. And on the other side we have UD, Super Killer, and Gameling. UD and Super Killer play together, so I'm thinking they have a little bit of the matches in this game, while the other team is sort of just getting to know each other. Right away you have the Ice team over on the right. And again, if you've never played this game before, I will explain a little bit of the dynamics while you hear the shootout. So let me turn this down a little bit so y'all can hear me. So in the game, you basically start on one side. So you will start over here on the right side. That will be Team Ice's territory. And then you have Team Fire territory over on the left. And you have a point system up here, right? The game, like I said, plays just like paintball. And it's really interesting because what you have to do in the game is you have to capture the towers under your control. So when you have a tower that is of your own color, you're able to jump onto it. And, you know, the goal here is to jump onto them really, really fast and then flank the enemy, just like he did right there. And so the more of the territory that you control, the more of the map you control, the better position you're going to be for a win. Right now, as you can tell, like I said, Super Killer and Udi play together. They're from a team called Is Raccoons, and so I was expecting them to be a lot stronger with each other. And this is precisely why we are doing the tournament we're doing. We are setting up the tournament in such a way that really strong players end up being paired up with players who are new to the game in order for the more experienced players to have to sort of coach the newer players into creating a better team, right? And so it's really come down to two things. How fast can you learn as a player the dynamics, and how good of a captain you are? Obviously, the people with more experience with the XP are going to be the captains in this case, and the better they're able to communicate and explain to the new players what the rules of the game are, the better positions they're going to be able to win the cup. And so that's what we're trying to achieve here. So one of the other really interesting things about the game is that everything's based on the energy of your weapon. And let me explain a little bit what I mean by that. So let's look here at Udi. So you see here his gun. I hope you're able to appreciate it at least a little bit. He's going to be moving a lot. Maybe I need to pick another player that doesn't move so much. Except this is, yeah, so here we go, Patch Pap. So on your gun, you have a certain level of energy. That energy has an influence on how fast you can charge the tower. It also has an influence on how fast you can shoot, so how many bullets per second you're able to execute. And then it has an influence on how far you charge and how fast you're able to charge and heal your own opponent. Or sorry, heal your own teammate. And so you really have to be mindful of how much energy you have on your weapon. The energy replenishes as you go through the game. But you do have to be mindful of that energy, because what you don't want to do is you don't want to be attacking while you have low energy levels without being able to move. And then the other thing is, like I said, is map control, right? So right here, the map is pretty even. If you see up here in the center, you have a gauge for who's controlling how much of the map. And so as you can tell, the Ice team is just raking in the points right now. And I'm guessing it has to do a lot because the Fire team might just not be communicating with each other. These guys over here don't know each other. They don't know how each other play. They might not even be healing each other, which is really hurting their performance. As you can tell, it's almost a 10 to 7, so there's some kills going on. But it also has to do with how much of the field you're controlling. So you want to do two things. You want to control the field, you want to move really fast, you want to have really good aim, and you want to heal your partners. And of course, those are more than two things. Eventually, I will get to understand how many things those are. But you know, that's what the game is about. So now that we know that, we can go into some other more specific gameplay. So you're going to see here Udi, who is from Mr. Raccoons. They've been playing now for a while. And Udi knows this map. So he knows from which position he's able to open fire on the enemy, which positions he should control. And so right now he's controlling the left side of the field. He's probably communicating that with his teammate, telling him like, hey, I'm covering left, moving forward, right? Or I'm being attacked on left, or I'm taking fire on left. So you see how he's covering right now. He's doing that in order to be able to draw the enemy out. The enemy's not coming, and then reposition himself and then move into the tower so that he has a better angle. The other thing that Uri is doing really well is that he's cross-firing. And what I mean by that is that instead of firing directly along his line of sight, he's going to be firing across to the enemy, across the field. If you see here, he's going to be moving into this position to try and get some of the heat off. And then here, this guy's coming across and opening fire, but he's going to be cross-firing them. What you want to do in this game is you want to create angles. Because if you don't have an angle on the players, you're not able to get a shot. If you're standing right behind the tower, with your shoulders parallel to the tower, the opponents are just not able to get you. We also want to show you how we're playing it here at Play Park, so I'm going to move a little bit. And as you can tell, this is probably a good segue for me to explain what the physical element of the game is like. So I'm just going to turn this and this down so you're able to hear me, and I'm going to expand this as much as I possibly can so that you can see it. So physically what's happening is that the player is standing behind the tower. So we have here Gunnar. Gunnar was in that match over there. And so Gunnar is basically standing behind the tower, and he's able to physically touch the tower. So here at BR Play Park, we have what is called a hyper reality element to the game. And this has those towers that you were watching inside of the game superimposed so that he's able to lean on it, look out, and cover. And so Gunnar's going to be right behind his tower, covering and opening fire on the enemy. It's also always better to open from the side that you're more that you dominate with more. And what I mean by that is that, you know, you're either going to be right-handed or left-handed, and you want to come out on the side of the tower that is more dominant to you. There are some people, and I've heard this from, you know, from the paintball conversations that I had, that are able to shoot with both hands, which is fantastic. I'm still, and I don't think a lot of people are considering that or trying that. But I think, you know, eventually somebody will. And if you are trying to form a team out there and you see somebody's left-handed, I would suggest you try and recruit that person because you're definitely going to have an advantage. Okay, so let's see if these guys are going to play another match. And if they are, we'll move ramp over to it. So let me just run this while we figure it out. Alrighty, so we're going to have a new match starting here, and I believe that Sarah has entered the building. For all of you that know, and for all of you that don't know, Sarah loves to get kills. She actually gets quite upset if she doesn't, and so you definitely want to watch out for her here. Sarah is number 5, so she's going to be down here in this position. Sarah has really good aim, and Sarah knows all of the positions. That she knows which positions to hold. If she's able to communicate here with her newer team, she's going to be performing really well. So you see Sarah opening fire then directly on 3. Let's move over to Sarah, and I'm sort of, you know, pointing out to Sarah because I know how she plays really well, so I can give you guys a little bit of pointers. And if you've never played this game before, have a better explanation for what's happening in the field. So let's go check out Sarah. So there she is. Sarah also plays really low. She's not, you know, she's not a lazy player. If she needs to get low, she's going to do that. And the other really interesting thing about Sarah is that even though she plays defensively, she just gets a ton of kills. And the reason why that is because she is just, her aim is just deadly, right? If you look at her here, she hasn't even gotten clipped. She has no kills, and she's getting already 3 scores. Right now, the battlefield's about halfway controlled, but you can see that fire team's slowly but surely moving across the 50s. And, you know, for the sake of